And the Screen Team is back. We've got Tony and Sabrina, and we are getting ready to review a movie. It's called The Boy. This movie came out in early 2016.
He's shaking already.
There's a reason why I didn't see this film. The film stars Lauren Cohan, who's from The Walking Dead TV show, and also stars Rupert Evans, and the film was released on January 29th of 2016. So, Sabrina, we'll start with you. You wanted to see The Boy. There was nobody to go see it with you, and you got Tony. How did you get Tony to go with you? That's what I want to know.
Well, we have a common appreciation for the genre. And
for horror?
Sure.
Tony, you like horror?
I do.
Scary
As long as it's not demonic.
Okay.
Right.
Do possession.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I know her limitations, and I was like, well, it's a doll.
Which is why I didn't go.
I'm like, it could go either way here, but she was agreeable to it, so I was glad.
So what's the basic premise? From the trailers, we see this young lady who finds a new job, basically, right?
She's been hired as the nanny, and she doesn't know the people. They're in England. I mean, she's come a long way, and you find out pretty early on that she's come a long way to get away from a bad relationship, and she's basically, hiding from an ex, kind of a situation.
So it's more than just a job. It's
right. It's
a lifestyle.
It's a whole escape route that pays well. That she's like, well, this has got to work. It's a couple of months, and I'll take care of this little boy. And this couple is going on a vacation without their son, and so she arrives and meets the grocery boy, which is actually a grown man that owns a grocery store in a nearby area.
Okay.
But they're pretty remote. They're out in the middle of nowhere, of course, big castle-like looking house, and so their groceries are delivered. They stay on the premises of the house, the grounds, and they stay with their son. And then you meet the son, and it's a doll. And you see most all of that kind of situation set up. It's from the get-go, there's a doll,
right,
that these crazy people think is their son.
So Tony, what's her reaction when she finds out that she's watching a doll?
She looks at them like they're crazy, which everyone
she thinks
would.
it's a joke.
Yes,
yeah.
and that was her. She kind of snickers at first, and they looked at her like, "What are you laughing at?"
Right.
And then she figured out real quick they weren't joking, and they give her the list of rules of what you have to do, and they take her around and show her how to dress the doll and how would you do it, and she picks it up, and the mom's like, "It's not a baby," and everybody's like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
And the grocery guy comes in and sort of breaks the ice, and he plays along and goes, kind of gives her the wink, wink, nod, so to speak, to say, just play along.
Exactly.
So is the grocery guy, is he like the kind of love interest with the lady?
He becomes one
throughout
the movie, but
he's
in
hot.
The beginning, he is. But in the beginning, he's just actually a friend that you can see that's just going to try to help her transition into this.
And you had mentioned there's rules. This is almost like a Gremlins type of thing where you got to make
Pretty
sure
much.
you follow.
Yes, get him up at 7 a.m., you bathe him, you dress him, you do this much school work, you do this much music lessons. I mean, there's a basic set of rules.
Snack, and never leave him alone in a room, never take him off the grounds, and no guests, and kiss him goodnight.
Yes.
You got to do all those things.
Got to do
right?
all those things, yeah.
So did they say what happens if you don't do that stuff, or they just
No.
Okay?
No, and they don't actually go over. They don't list every one of the rules. I'm sorry. They just show her the rules, and you see them written on the paper. So she don't go into every one of them explicitly. You just see them, and you kind of get to reading it.
And then while they're doing the introduction to the doll, to the son, you don't understand that they're getting ready to leave until they walk out the door, and then you realize, oh, okay, so you're in a hurry to go, but you can tell they're extremely nervous.
Of course.
And later on in the movie, you get a letter sent home from the parents to the son, and with some explanation that's a little too late.
Yes.
But the boy, and I believe there's a trailer that includes something to that effect, where there's the boy, you see a picture of him with a little girl. There was a little girl that was killed in the forest nearby after his 8th birthday. It was on his 8th birthday that the house fire started, and the boy never escaped. And so early on that this is all based on the little boy's death. But then the doll starts to show signs of life.
Wonderful.
But not like the doll doesn't ever do anything. It's
You don't see
when
the
you're
doll
not
move.
looking at the doll.
Okay.
Yeah, you never.
Then all of a
see the
sudden
doll.
he's not there anymore, or he's sitting up, or his head is turned. It's always when the camera comes back that you catch something's happened.
But you never
something's
see the
different.
eyes move, the head move, the hand.
Only in a
nothing of the-
nightmare.
Yeah.
Good, 'cause- only in a nightmare.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a couple of nightmare scenes.
I'll close my eyes during
We
those.
did jump a couple of times.
Oh
yes.
yeah.
All right, so with that, we've given the description of the movie. Did you guys like it?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It was
It had
fun.
a believable ending, which is what I like. Kind of like the Scream movies. Nobody really likes those. But in the end, it's a plot that could actually happen.
Yeah.
So I like those kinds of movies.
Sabrina?
I agree. I think it's got a nice twist to it. Here and there was a couple of places that you just go, oh snap, and you're like, oh, this got a whole lot better. And that happens a couple of times. It's what I continue to call PG-13 type horror, where it's designed to be not so just shocking and horrific that you just cringe. You don't want your kids to see it. I mean,
It wasn't the gore and the whole,
right. It's suspense,
Yes.
thrilling. Oh my gosh, it could be supernatural. What's going on here? And so it just plays on your imagination and your fears.
Yes.
So, Tony, you've got a young child who's almost at the brink of that 13 age. Is this a movie that maybe he could get into, or maybe a few years down the line?
Actually, I think he would love it.
Yeah.
I really do. I just don't want him to creep out over dolls after seeing it because I mean,
Like Chris?
Yeah, yes.
I'm 35 and I still can't do it.
He'll see a certain painting and he thinks the eyeballs watch him. So I don't know that I really want him watching a doll that
Yeah.
supposedly is a child. Even though you figure out in the end, what
There's-
the whole plot is.
There's a resolution to it, but it's
Yes.
not any nicer.
No.
Sabrina, do you agree with Tony? Around 13, can anybody younger than
Sure.
13 see this?
You have to know the mentality and the emotional state of your child. If they're into that stuff and nothing really phases them or scares them, sure, you're going to have a good time with this movie.
Okay.
But for some that are sensitive, it could leave them with a nightmare or two. So
Right.
just know your family, know your friends, what
did-
they can handle, and your husband.
How did, how did you guys think Lauren Cohan did? Because all we know her from is the Walking Dead series. What did you guys think of her as a leading
I
lady?
liked
I
it.
did too.
I forgot early on that who she plays otherwise, and
There's a scene in there where you see a profile picture of her, and from the side she looks a lot like Charlize Theron or Theron.
she's beautiful.
Yes.
It's a shower scene.
Yes.
It is.
It is a shower
No,
scene.
it's not that in
it's not-
detailed,
no,
so don't
there's
get
no
excited.
side.
It is
nothing.
13.
Yeah,
All right.
it's just water running off her face, and it's kind of slow mo, and it's real like gets your attention off of what
Right.
is the intention of the movie,
Right.
and just
Kinda
long
lets you
enough to
relax.
snap you back to it when she gets out of it.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's a distraction.
It is.
All right. So, The Boy. Yes.
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 Yes. All right, cool. It's called The Boy, and it's a horror genre film that you can check out. And coming up, we'll have more reviews right here on the Screen Team on today's Talk, KWOC.